Right, is this working? Who knows? Okay, I think it's better last time. I'm eating yogurt. Okay, I can't see anyone. Oh, there is one person. Whoever that one person is, type something in the chat because I can't see it. And 2 people as well. If I can't see anything, I'm going to have to do it the other way on my phone. Yes. Can't see anything. 4 people. Okay, I'm probably going to try again because this isn't working. Ah, there we go. It is working. Hello, Kieran. How's it going? I did just get your message on Instagram, by the way, but I was busy on the toilet. Oh, okay. Kieran, can you see the video? Gemma can't see the video. So if this doesn't work, I'll go back to my phone. No worries, son. Yeah, can you see the video, Kieran? Yes, you can. So Gemma, I think it's you that's the problem. This feels like doing one of my English lessons. It's normally horrific trying to get video to working. Sometimes the sound doesn't work. It's working. Happy days. The funny thing is, I might show you actually. Look what I've just done. I just spilled yogurt everywhere. I was trying to get this to work, but turns out throwing yogurt all over the desk was more important. Oh, there's 5 people. Hello. How is everyone today? How is your Saturday going? What are you up to? I'm eating yogurt because I'm sick. Sick as a dog, and yogurt is the only thing I can eat. Awesome. I don't know if many people are going to join this because it's a bit of a funny time. So Asia, people are asleep. Australia, people are asleep. And I've got yogurt all over the desk. What a nightmare. Playing what? Far Cry 5. What is that? I don't know. Yes, thanks, Gemma. So do I. It's been, I think, 12 days now. I've lost like tons of weight. Not good. But at least I can fit into my slut jeans again. That's a plus. Pizza. Lush. Right. Awesome. And Gemma, did you see the last X-Files? I've actually watched the last one on YouTube. Well, bits of it. Apparently it was rubbish. So yeah, Mexico City. How long have I been here? I've been here for about over 2 weeks now. Wasn't that impressed. Yes, Scully pregnant again. What is that about? She's like 90 now. She can't have babies. And yeah, Mexico for 2 weeks, I guess. I can't remember, a bit more than that. But I'm here for another 2 weeks until the when do I get 18th? I'm going to yeah. So I tell you my route through Mexico actually, because I haven't done this yet. I'll stop eating the yogurt. I might have to lick it off the table in a minute. So I go to Puebla on the 18th of August. August? What the fuck am I talking about? April. For a week. Then I go to Oaxaca. There is someone I know that I met in Belize in 2010 that lives near to Oaxaca, so I might go and see her. The yogurt's all over my toothbrush. Christ's sake. So I might go and see her. Then I'm going to go to somewhere called Villa Hermosa, Palenque, where there's lots of ruins. Gemma, I think it was you that said about the ruins, the Mayan ruins. So yeah, can't wait to do that. I'm assuming I'm not shitting myself all day. And what else am I doing? Then I'm going to Merida, which is up on the north. Then you have lots more Mayan ruins as well. So places like Chichen Itza, which is famous Mayan ruins. Peter, one of the patrons, has just messaged me. He's going to Russia. Why are you not on the live chat? Why are you messaging me? Yeah, then I'm going to go to Tulum, where again, more ruins, and near the beach, and up to Cancun. So I leave on the middle of June, because you'll find out in a video soon why I'm leaving in the middle of June. Basically, I'm going to Cuba, June the 14th, which I can't wait for, because it's kind of be my first new country for a long time. Is Mexico safe enough, as you hear bad shit all the time about that place? The place, yes, you do hear bad shit. And I talk about this in a video coming up soon. First impressions of Mexico. I think I'm wearing this T-shirt in it. I need to get some more clothes. And yeah, so there are, I suppose, people's perception of Mexico is a bit like that. To be honest, do I feel unsafe? No, not really. A lot of people talk about the Mexico subway, the metro, which is awesome. I love it. It's one of my favorite ones. You know, you've got music playing, people selling you, well, trying to sell you chewing gum. It's a bit like in London when those Polish women put the toilet paper, tissues on your lap and try and, you know, make you buy them for fiver. No chance. And yeah, but I think if you're streetwise, you know, anyone that's done a lot of traveling will know. You know, if you walk with purpose and you are streetwise, then you won't have an issue. A lot of the thing I find as well about feeling comfortable and safe in a country is try and dress like the locals as much. So as much as I want to wear shorts and flip-flops, you don't see Mexican people wearing shorts and flip-flops. Even when it's like 27 degrees, you see people in jeans. A bit like in Japan, where, you know, even in the middle of the summer, you will see people in jeans and you don't see flip-flops. So, because I think if you look different, you're going to be singled out straight away. And the thing about bags as well, you know, you've seen it in my videos. I have the bag that goes across there. I would advise to get one of those bags like that, or one that you can put on your front. You do see some locals like that, but I think if you do that, it just singles you out even more. There's more people talking. Okay, yeah, Gemma, last X-Files. Yeah, I said about that already. I haven't seen the rest of the series, but Scully really pisses me off in terms of just how she talks, and she's always exhaling when she speaks, and her wig. I just can't watch it because of the wig. And to the sea, to the sea. Stupid. How's it going? Have I spoken to you before? I just can't remember. Where are you from? Moldova. Oh God, Moldova. Have you seen the video I did in Moldova? It was because literally, I'll tell you why I was in Moldova if you don't know. So I was in Kiev. I did the tour to Pripyat, where I did the epic 39-minute video. I need some yogurt. And basically, it was cheaper for me to go to Chisinau in Moldova and then to Italy. This was last year, rather than me just go straight from Kiev to Naples. I stopped in Moldova. I was there for about 4 days. I was basically editing that massive video the whole time I was there. So I went out once and filmed a video talking about how boring Chisinau is, but it was, what's the word? Let me get rid of that stupid notification. You know, people think Chisinau is boring, but the point of the video was to show that it isn't necessarily. Yeah, it's not the most exciting place in the world, but it's not as boring as people think. And the amount of hate comments I had from that video, I actually had one yesterday. It's quite funny. I got drunk last night playing cards with the Airbnb host and her mates. Didn't go to bed till about 2 a.m. But while I was drunk, I had a hate comment. And of course, I replied to it straight away. But it then turned out that it was actually someone who was replying to another hater and not slagging me off. So I felt a bit embarrassed. The things you do when you're drunk. But thank you to that person for not giving me a hate comment. Awesome. So thank you for the questions. To the sea, to the sea. I like talking about Moldova because I really want to go back there at some point, because since I've done that video, I've heard a lot of good things about other places in Moldova as well. Nightlife, I think Moldovans do like a drink and do like to go out, definitely. I probably wasn't there long enough to experience it, but as far as I know, it was. A lot of people in the hostel I stayed at told me it was good nightlife. If you like a drink in Moldova, Moldovan wine is quite possibly one of my favourite wines ever. Oh, I've got another bloody Google Chrome notification. But yeah, life good. Hello, France. Awesome. I might be in France at some point later this year. I want to go to the French Grand Prix, Formula One, end of June. But I'm still going to be in Cuba then, so that's not going to happen. But I might go there at some point. I've been to Monaco before. Guatemala. Interesting you should bring that one up. So I was in Guatemala in how many years ago? 8 years ago. Loved it. But yes, I agree. I didn't feel entirely safe in some areas of Guatemala. Amandeep V is responding to a China thing. He's not on the live stream. Never mind. Yeah, Guatemala, I didn't feel entirely safe. There's actually, shall I tell you a funny story about Guatemala? Do you want to hear the funny story? It's horrific. It's possibly one of my worst travel stories in my entire life. I'll tell you anyway. So basically, before I left, 2 weeks before I left, there was a major volcanic eruption of Pacaya Volcano. And I love telling this story. And it was around the time, the volcano erupted in Iceland and airports were being closed, that sort of thing. And so the same thing happened. And literally 2 days before, I think it was, my flight, the airport was reopened because there was ash everywhere. So luckily, I made it to Guatemala eventually, because my first flight to Dallas, there was a delay and something blah, blah, blah. So I missed the connecting flight. My bags that didn't come off the conveyor belt thingy. So I was waiting around. They said it was still in Heathrow. Just then, it miraculously appears through a door behind the check-in thing. And so I got my bags, spent a night in Dallas, 3 hours, got on the flight to Guatemala, got there no problem. I left Guatemala City a few days later. My bags, again, were left at the bus station after the guy told me that he put them on the bus. 3 days later, in Flores, I think it was, I finally got my bags back after wearing a Batman T-shirt for 3 days. I've got the hilarious photos on Facebook. But that was probably one of my worst travel moments. I almost quit the whole trip. It was only a 2-week trip. It was like a holiday. It wasn't while I was long-term traveling. But in the end, it was okay. So the Pacaya Volcano was awesome. It's somewhere I definitely recommend going. Obviously, at the time, because of the eruption, I couldn't do a proper trip because of the risk of death. But I managed to find some guy on the street who agreed to take me up the volcano with this Chinese woman and her American husband and this other woman as well. And basically, you couldn't do the proper route up the volcano, but we kind of walked up there close to the lava, that sort of stuff, which is awesome. I'd love to go back there and do the proper tour. Probably not on this, not in the near future anyway. But yeah, there was something about Guatemala. I'm finally at the end of this story that, yeah, it just didn't feel as safe as I think Mexico City is safe, a lot safer than I thought it was. Yeah. Paris. I've never been to Paris. Usually because I'm permanently single. Or get fed up with someone in 5 minutes and dump them. Yeah. This yogurt is good. They do a strawberry one too with no bits in. You don't need bits in the yogurt. Awesome. So yeah. So are you enjoying the videos that are coming out at the moment? There's another one tomorrow from Thailand, which is quite possibly, if you think about the sex shop video in Tokyo, was a bit bonkers. This one is a whole other level of bonkers. It's a bit different as well because it's quite fast paced and a bit disjointed, I would say. But that's the point of it. So that one's coming tomorrow. What else have we got? Oh, thanks, Gemma. You're the best. Brilliant. I love Gemma. She's awesome. That, you know what that might pay for? I can get some different medication because I tried this other stuff like Imodium. It's something to do with tea, but it doesn't work clearly. So hence the yogurt and the Yakult. Awesome. Thank you, Gemma, for the super chat. Hi, Anise. Hello, how are you? Where are you from? I don't think I've spoken to you before. I can't remember. Apologies if we have. Yes. What was I saying? Oh, about videos. Yes. The one this morning was mental. Oh, yes, but of course you got it earlier because Patreon. It will. I know I said a week before, but realistically, it's going to be less than that probably because I'm just chucking videos out at the moment. I was going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I can't be bothered. This whole YouTube upload schedule thing, it's great in principle, but in reality, it's not. Because, you know, it's great ahead because I take longer to edit and stuff. But, you know, if I'm still uploading Thailand videos 4 weeks into being into Mexico, I don't like it. And what was I going to say about Mexico? Yeah, and because I've got so many videos in Mexico City, if I'm doing 2 travel videos a week plus digital nomad diaries 1 a week, it's going to be like Christmas before I finish the Mexico City videos. So it's going to be quite full on coming up. Yeah, so that bonkers one is tomorrow. There's another one from Phuket, which I haven't really started editing yet. It's a bit crap, but we'll see. Then there's the epic travel day to Mexico, including the interesting story about the China transit visa, which is kind of the opposite of what happened last year. It's a funny one, as always. Yes. Oh, bloody hell. Yogurt is everywhere, all over the table. Tim, hello. Why I can't even talk today. This feels like I'm doing an English lesson because I normally cannot talk and I've got yogurt everywhere. Why aren't you in Japan still? That's a good question. And I will talk about that actually. So I did. I was in Hiroshima for what? Over 2 months. Then I was in Kyoto and Osaka. Less said about that, the better. Hello, Joseph. How's it going? You have joined. I hope I can't remember if I told you the time. I didn't know your time zone, etc. Anyway, you're here. And yeah, so I was in Japan for that long. And I guess the one thing I learned about being in Japan this time was the fact that being there for a short time versus being there for a longer period is a whole different kettle of fish. That is an idiom, whatever. And I just got a bit fed up with it in the end. I think it's very difficult to live in a country like Japan. Hello, Chasing a Plate, Thomas and Gina. How are you? How are you doing? How's India? Yeah, so with Japan, I think it's great for a short trip, but I think my opinion of it now is that I wouldn't want to stay there for a huge amount of time. You know, Japanese people are great. I've said that in videos before, but there's just something I learned over time, just how shy they are and introverted. It's very difficult to make friends in Japan. Obviously, you've got the language issue, but to be honest, I never had an issue with getting by with the language, the basics. I have to got to eat with the wife. Bloody wife. Ridiculous. Can't she do her dinner later? No problem. Catch you later. And I will reply to your message on Instagram after I've done this. And I'll have a fag as well. Yeah, so it's very difficult to make friends with people in Japan long term. And I was going to leave Japan because of the 90-day thing and then come back and go to Tokyo. There was a possibility of doing a workaway in Tokyo, but it didn't seem entirely genuine. Plus, I got to the point where I didn't really need to do a workaway anymore because I had earned some money through teaching, and that was the main aim, really, of the beginning of this year. Yes. But I would love to go back to Japan, but I think I wouldn't do it for a long period. Yeah. Have you been to Japan, Tim? I can't remember. The diarrhea has destroyed my memory. Let me go back in the chat. I'm getting confused now. Oh, but I'm glad this is working, by the way. There's a new thing on YouTube, like this camera thing. So I can just do it on my laptop. No worry about this encoding bollocks and crap like that. KL. Oh, where's my flip-flops? A second. Say hello to the stolen flip-flops, everyone. These are famous. They were bought in Bali by my friend Charlie. Yes, and they were stolen in Kuala Lumpur, but found 3 months later in Japan in my suitcase. Brilliant. Yes, I'm going back in this chat, aren't I? Anise from the UK. Cool. Amazing. Where in the UK are you from, Anise? I'd love to hear some more about the UK, because one thing I haven't said recently is that I'm going to kill myself for saying this. I actually slightly miss the UK. Even though I had a bit of a meltdown last year when I went there. But there are certain things I miss about it. Friends, food, Scotch eggs, Waitrose, lovely. But so I am actually. So have I said this before? Probably said it on Instagram or something. I can't remember. But I will. I'm just reading these comments. Hilarious. So I will be in. Well, basically, so after I leave Mexico, I'm going to go to Cuba, then potentially probably to Miami, and then Colombia. Because I always wanted to go to Colombia because I was in South America years ago, but I never went to Colombia. A lot of my Brazilian students, because I do have a lot of them now, are trying to entice me back to Brazil. I would love to go back to Brazil. Because before I've only been to Sao Paulo and Rio, which was one of the places I got pickpocketed. More on that in a second. But at the moment, flights look a bit expensive from Colombia, I don't know, and then getting back to London. And I did say it in a video actually about potentially settling somewhere in Europe for a bit, maybe 6 months, probably in not Mexico, in Germany. Oh, Christ. I think it's the diarrhea that's making me confused. Okay. Yes, Joseph. So I did have Imodium, but I lost it, probably along with the flip-flop. So I bought some new stuff here in the supermarket up the road. It's something beginning with T. I don't know where it is. It's probably covered in yogurt. But it doesn't work. It's useless. So if it's not better, say by middle of the week, there's a friend of mine. Well, I met him on Grindr, as always. He said he's going to take me to the doctors and speak Spanish because my Spanish is not good. We'll see. You never know. I might get better. I do feel better than I was. I'm not dying now as I was last week. But we'll see. Philippines. So I have been to the Philippines, but I didn't do any videos there. That was last year. So I went to, basically it was during the whole palaver, I don't know if anyone remembers, with my bank card where I had fraud in Vietnam. So my card cancelled. And I had a friend of mine in northern Philippines who I had the card sent to from the UK. So I went there for a couple of weeks to see him and the card didn't arrive. But yeah, I wouldn't mind going back to the Philippines, but there's just something about it I don't like. I didn't like Manila. Obviously, there's places like, what are they called again? It's completely gone. What are the places? Boracay, Puerto Princesa. I can't say it. It's typical Southeast Asia travel places to go, but I think I've kind of done Southeast Asia for now. I can't deal with Asia anymore. I'm hopefully filming a video today about 10 things I don't miss about Asia. I've lived in KL for 5 years. Yes. I'm sure I spoke to you before. Yes. I have a love-hate relationship with KL. Hands up if you like KL and thumbs down if you hate KL. I know Chasing a Plate, if you're still here, are going to say that you love KL. Obviously. Of course you do. Of course you do. When I think of KL, I think of Chasing a Plate. Brilliant. even though I did completely slag KL off in a recent video, but it's purely due to one bad experience, which could happen anywhere. I think you will agree, you know, with my my wallet, which is gone, and this is now my new wallet. It's called Tiddles. If you can think of a better name for the cat wallet, let me know. Brilliant. Hi, in Indonesia, it's 20:00:23. Good night. Good night. Hello, Indonesia. I love Indonesia. One of my favorite countries. I want to go back there. I want to go to Sumatra. Start off in Banda Aceh and go down, and probably then go over to Jakarta and fly out of there. But probably a month. That would be something I'd want to do in the future if I do go back to Asia. I know I just said that I wouldn't yet, but that's definitely one area I'd want to go to. Hi, Ran from Israel. Awesome. Okay, Israel. I know I've missed a few things. It's been going on forever now. Yeah, Israel is somewhere I want to go to. I know it's not really a country that's budget travel. You know, places like Jordan and Qatar and places like that, but a lot of history. Yeah, I'd love to come to Israel. Drop me a message with some things to do in Israel. I would love to know. Anish, you're in Stevenage. I used to know someone in Stevenage. I probably don't know them anymore. Awesome. What did you think about Bali and Cambodia? Right. Oh, where shall I start? I know I've jumped on from KL. This is a bit how my brain works. Jump from one thing to the other without thinking. I'll come back to KL. Bali, it's one of my favorite places. As I said about Indonesia, a lot of people, I said this in a video recently, that a lot of people, when they think of Indonesia, they think, oh, it's just Bali. No, it's not. And the amount of people that think that Bali is a country drives me insane. Yeah, so places like Kuta, a lot of people hate Kuta, but Kuta, I'm a Londoner, because it's very touristy and, you know, it's seedy and that sort of thing. But actually, I really like Kuta. It's my guilty pleasure. I've been there like 5 times because I keep going back there when I was going to other places. I'll come back to you in a minute, Thomas and she. I did that on purpose, especially for you, by the way. Yeah, Bali. You know, where did I go? Uluwatu, Canggu, Jimbaran, great seafood restaurants. And it was good that I was kind of traveling with some locals at the time, so they took me to a local seafood place. And I'm chasing a plate. I'm talking about food now. Hope you appreciate it. I never used to like seafood. I used to hate it with a passion. Prawns, don't even get me started. But the day I went to Jimbaran fish market, there's a video on it somewhere, was the best day ever. You could have just left me there and I would have eaten everything. It was amazing, beautiful, proper local food, which is what a lot of, you know, sums Asia up really, doesn't it? What else did I do in Bali? Where else did I go? Seminyak I wasn't really keen on. I only stayed over the east. Who still does that when you think of northeast, southwest? I can't do it in my head. Yeah, I only stayed over the east, you know, the usual touristy area. But the Gili Islands, Anis, are my favourite. Have you been there? Absolutely love the Gili Islands. Gili Air is my favourite on the planet. Pancake Lady, if you remember her from a video, she's the superstar of Gili Air. Love her. Gili Meno, I would recommend going there. Yeah, it's a bit more expensive, but there are cheaper places to stay. I stayed somewhere for 100,000 rupiah, which I can't remember how much that is in dollars. It's cheap. It's basically hostel prices. Yeah, and it's kind of the honeymoon island if you're on a honeymoon, or if you're capable of developing a relationship, unlike me. I'm sure you are. And Gili Trawangan, I love saying that word, Trawangan, Gili Tea. Yeah, it's the party island and all that, you know, drunken backpackers, OMBPs, 1 month backpackers. But I did like it. The problem, you have to make sure you stay somewhere not right next to a mosque because, no offense, but it's very loud. and especially if you're drinking and then you trying to sleep, it's impossible. You know, I saw people like falling asleep on a boat when I was doing a snorkeling tour. But overall, Bali, I love it. And Cambodia, oh God, I talked about this in the video the other day, the 10 places to first-time travel destination. I like Cambodia. The thing, and I said this in the video as well, but I don't just think of Angkor Wat. You know, there's a lot more to Cambodia than that. There's a lot of other places close to there and close to Siem Reap that are actually better, purely because Angkor Wat is just ridiculous in terms of the amount of tourists and the amount of, obviously it's going to be like that, and I was one of those tourists, but you know, it does take away from the experience, I guess. Yes. So this is half an hour already. Jesus Christ. Okay, has anyone else got any other travel questions? Ran, I liked your videos from Japan. Oh, where have I heard that before? One of these days, oh, thank you, by the way, but I'd love it if someone said that about another country video. Yes, awesome. Hopefully the Mexico ones will be decent, apart from me wanting to go to the toilet halfway through all of them. But never mind. Okay. Right, my back is hurting and I need the toilet. So I might call it a day. Oh my God, Gemma. I can't believe it. The tornado vids. What tornado vids? Because no one's watched them. It's funny that was it was kind of like the first season 1, the first year, that was kind of the finale. That was the ultimate aim of the first year. A lot of people say to me, "Oh, how did you plan your route and stuff?" Well, it was based around that. I had to be in America at a certain time. It was the best thing I've ever done. It was awesome. And the problem is with YouTube is that, well, the problem with storm chasing in general is that it's more about photography. It's not about videos. You know, you get people doing this photo stacking, whatever it's called, where they take millions of photos of lightning and sort of put them all onto one photo, basically, so it looks fake. But video so much is not, or vlogging is not so much a storm chasing thing. So when you search for storm chasing videos, you just get endless, you know, 5-hour shots from like a dash cam or something in a car. Who wants to watch that? No one. But never mind. Maybe one day the storm chasing videos will explode. Anise, what was my? I'm gonna go soon, I swear, but I'll answer this one. This is like an English lesson from hell, and I'll answer yours as well, Joseph. First, have some yogurt. The yogurt's almost over, mainly because I poured half of it over the table. Yes. Back to KL actually. So some of the food I liked in KL, as you know, when we went to the cheese naan place, best thing ever. Indian food in Kuala Lumpur is the best. I'm sure in India it's a lot better though. Yes, I need to catch up with your videos. I'm so behind. Yeah, what is your worst travel experience? Oh God, there's so many. Okay, there's probably a few. So I'm going to go back in time, the time machine again. So Sydney, Australia, 2001. I was only 19. It was the first trip away I'd ever done, and I was with 2 girls. And what I said before about being streetwise and confident and walking with purpose, we weren't like that at all. And complete idiots, basically. So we got talking to this guy on the street in, anyone that knows Sydney, King's Cross, Darlinghurst Road, dodgy area at night. And basically got talking to us, asked us if we were tourists. We said yes. That's stupid. And basically he was a heroin addict and he threatened us with a dirty needle, that sort of thing. It was quite nice actually. We go, oh, yeah, here you go, here's some money, and off we went. So it wasn't horrific, but I guess at that age and at that level of experience with travel, it was just a bit shitty. What else? That kind of scariest experience. Okay, scariest experience actually, going back to Guatemala. So I guess it's a near-death moment. So when we were coming back from this volcano tour, what was it? It was basically a monsoon, and suddenly the traffic stopped, and we were wondering what the hell was going on. And there was a lot of dodgy people around. And I always remember the girl next to me. She said, "Oh, at least we have our volcano rock." This because we got given a bit of rock from the volcano to hit people over the head with. But luckily, it didn't happen. And so in the end, we were waiting there for ages. Didn't know what was going on. All the men, because we're strong, got out of the minivan thing, whatever it was, walked up the road. We didn't have to go very far because literally 2 cars in front of us, lightning had hit a tree and crushed the car 2 in front of us. So if we were just slightly ahead, probably would have been dead. But luckily we weren't. The people in the car were okay because it turned out that there was only 1 person in it, but the tree crushed like the passenger seat area, and the driver was fine, luckily. That was a scary experience. Another time in Ecuador, I put this on my Instagram a few weeks ago. The thing about traveling at altitude is that it's important. A lot of people say it's important that you let your body acclimatize to the altitude, which of course I didn't do. Day 2, I tried to climb a volcano, and I do exaggerate with health, but it all literally felt like my lungs were going to collapse, and I got so sunburned. Even though it was cloudy, it was like I'd been put in a fire. It was like 3rd-degree burns. My face was blown up like that. Had to use aloe vera leaves to calm it down, so that was pretty shitty. Yeah. And what you're saying about Indonesian? Hang on a minute. Economy train. That was probably a scary experience as well, actually, in going from Yogyakarta to Bandung on the economy train. Also a night train, which was quite possibly one of the worst experiences of my life. I've never felt so bad because there were, a lot of night trains, you have a bed, sleeper train, but not in this case. It was this rock hard, like, seat. It wasn't even back like that slightly. It was like that, and you couldn't adjust it. The positions I got into trying to sleep were ridiculous. And yeah, that was in the video about going from Bandung to Yogyakarta to Bandung. But luckily, that's a tip, and you'll probably agree with me. If you're in Java, definitely pay a bit extra for the executive class, because I think it was about 120,000 rupiah versus about 80. So it's not 40,000 rupiah, isn't a massive amount. But the difference is unbelievable. It's like it was almost to the level of the Shinkansen in Japan. That's how good it was. When I went from Bandung to, what's it called? Jakarta. Yes, excellent. Okay, awesome. Well, I'm going to actually tidy up the yogurt that I spilled all over the table, and I'm going to try and film some videos today that I need to do. Thank you for joining, everyone. Thank you again, Gemma, for the super chat. It's much appreciated. I'll do another one of these soon. And what I'll probably do is I'll put something on Facebook or Instagram about questions, that sort of thing. Yeah, so I can answer some questions and we can have a bit of conversation. And it's great that Anise and Lukeman, sorry if I say your name wrong, are having a bit of conversation. I like that. Talking amongst yourselves as well, rather than just talking to me. Yes, brilliant. So yeah, I'll do another one of these soon, but I'll probably do it at a different time again, because I know we've got a lot of UK and American people at the moment. But there are a lot of subscribers in Asia, obviously, and Australia particularly. So, and New Zealand, quite a few in New Zealand as well. So I'll work out another time to do, well, maybe next week or something. I'm teaching British English, apparently. But it's all good. So anyway, 39 minutes, wonderful. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll catch you later. Oh, how do I end it? It's not ending. There we go.